Drench resistance is a major concern for New Zealand sheep farmers. When rooting drenches are not fully effective, they can allow resistant parasites to build up on the farm and in the animal. Eventually, rooting drenches may fail to control parasites adequately, resulting in obvious disease and costly production losses. In addition, farmers are then faced with increased costs to control parasites as the drench options available to them decrease. It's a shocking fact that most farms in New Zealand now have resistance to one or more of the drench families. But this doesn't have to be a reality on your farm. Drench resistance can be controlled by applying best practice worm management principles like those advocated by Wormwise, by using an effective drench active which kills resistant and susceptible parasites such as Startect, and by applying a strategic approach to drenching. Startect is a unique combination drench containing the new active Derquantel in combination with Abamectin. Derquantel is a novel drench active which worms have not been exposed to before. Because Startect knocks out susceptible and resistant parasites, it can break this resistance cycle and prolong the effective life of your older routine drenches. Strategic drenching is simply the planned use of drenches to manage or delay anthelmintic tick resistance. The goal is to ensure that our existing rooting drenches continue to work effectively for as long as possible, allowing farmers to maintain long-term cost-effective drenching programs. Specifically, strategic drenching includes quarantine drenching, exit drenching, and knockout drenching. A quarantine drench is given to any new stock that enter the farm to prevent the introduction of resistant parasites. Ideally, stock would be drenched before entry to the farm, or drenched immediately off the truck and placed in a holding paddock with food and water for at least a day before being released onto the main paddocks. With any strategic drenching, it is essential that a fully effective drench like Startect is used. Long-acting drenches and capsules are commonly used for sustained parasite control in lambs and ewes. Resistant parasites can be selected during the long payout of these products, and an extra drench is given at the end of these treatments to remove surviving resistant parasites. Knockout drenching is simply the substitution of one of the rooting lamb drenches with Startect. The goal is to remove parasites which have survived rooting drenches and prevent an autumn larval peak of resistant parasite larvae on pasture. Substituting one routine lamb drench with a knockout drench in this way has been shown to delay the onset of resistance to the existing routine drenches, making them work effectively for longer. To understand how this works, think about the goal of a preventative lamb drenching program, which is to prevent an uncontrolled autumn larval peak of parasites on pasture, as seen here. But if the routine lamb drench used is not fully effective, resistant parasites will survive and build up during the season, resulting in an autumn larval peak comprising largely of resistant parasites. The goal of a knockout drench is to take out those resistant parasites just before the time when climatic conditions would favour their survival and development on pasture. A knockout drench can be given to lambs at any time, but ideally should be late summer or early autumn. Knockout drenching can only be done with a new active, such as the Derquantel and Startect. Startect is the ideal strategic drench because it's the only new active in combination. Combination drenches are recommended for delaying the onset of resistance, as each active protects the other. So Startect can delay the development of resistance to both Abamectin and Derquantel, which is important as Abamectin is a commonly used anthelmintic in many combination drenches. And currently there's very little recorded resistance to Abamectin, and our goal is to keep it that way. Delaying resistance to Derquantel is also vitally important as it is the first member of a novel drench family, one of only 2 novel drench families to be introduced to New Zealand in the last 35 years. Startect can also extend the useful life of other existing drench classes when integrated with sustainable worm management practices in a planned strategic drenching program. So yes, drench resistance is a major concern for New Zealand sheep farmers, but it can be effectively managed and delayed to maintain long-term, cost-effective drench programs. For more information on strategic drenching and Startect, you should talk to your veterinarian.